Hello, this is Dave the Ring Finder at davetheringfinder.com, and I wanted to spend a few moments here today talking about how to find rings, or how to increase the odds of you finding a ring in one of your local parks. I'm not saying that I'm an expert at this. I've just been doing this for such a long time. I found upwards of 500 rings over the last 10 years, both out here messing around and professionally for folks. So I've kind of been able to figure out a few things about where rings get lost, and I thought I would help out folks who are out there looking for rings on their own, or getting into the hobby, as to how to find rings. So anyhow, let's talk about this park for a second. This park houses both softball, football, and soccer, both youth soccer and adult soccer. Adult soccer is where the money is, because that's where the people come out who actually have the rings of value. Now keep in mind, I will say as a disclaimer, anytime I do find a ring of value, I do post it in the hopes of finding an owner, and if we don't, well, then one of my kids or my wife, or it just simply goes back into my collection of rings. But I do try to return them to their owners. Okay, with that being said here, let's talk about where to go to find rings. Now you'll notice here in this area over here where all the trees are, that is not the area to go looking for rings. If you want to look for pull tabs, if you want to look for bottle caps, you can see over there, there's a couple of water bottles over there. Those are trash heaps, places where trees are. That's where you're going to find huge amounts of trash that is just going to frustrate the crap out of you looking for rings. You're going to find a million pull tabs. So if you want to find pull tabs, those are the places to find it. Where you want to go, especially if you're going to look at a soccer field like this one is right here, you can tell this is the end zone here, or the end line right here. That's where the goalie is. That's the 5-yard box. I think that's what they call it. Anyhow, this is the area behind here that you want to hunt in order to find rings, because this is what I would consider to be called the staging area. So teams that are coming to play soccer that are not quite there yet, or their game is still not there, they're going to come back here and stage. They're going to come back to places like right around here to stretch. They're going to have their bags right here. They're going to have their sweatpants, and they're going to put their rings in their sweatpants. They're going to put their rings in their bags, and then they're going to pick up their bags and they're going to forget about their rings, and they're going to drop them in an area right here. Okay, I know this because I have found rings for customers who were playing soccer in adult leagues right around areas like this. So I know that. You're not going to find a lot of can slaw in this area either, or pull tabs, because your pull tabs, remember, are going to be in the shady areas. So if I get by this tree right here, I'm going to find a crap ton of pull tabs. Same thing with that tree and that tree. But if I get out here to hunt here in this area, okay, I'm not going to find as much. All right, let's talk about now on the sidelines. People like to hunt the sidelines. Well, I don't bother to hunt this part of the sidelines. The reason being is nobody sits here during a game. Okay, people sit 8 to 12 feet off the sideline, because nobody likes to get run over by a slightly inebriated 35-year-old male who's trying to recapture his youth playing soccer. So this is the area that I would go ahead and hunt. The people that like to drink beer and come to the games are going to come right here, and they're going to be sitting here. So I'm not going to spend any of my time hunting here in this area, because this is where all the Modelo caps are going to be. Okay, so that's going to be a waste of my time. And believe it or not, one of the best places is the corner. This area here, I have found at least 4 or 5 men's wedding bands for customers right off the corner, because this is where they put their stuff. So just let that be something to think about when you're out there hunting. All right, out in the middle of the field. This is good for, not for rings, okay, but this is good for pendants, for chains, for bracelets. things of that nature, because this is where collisions happen and this is where people lose them out here. You're not going to find also very much can slaw out here, because nobody sits out here. Nobody's drinking out here because there's a game going on. Again, all my can slaw and all my pull tabs are going to be over here on the perimeter. But out here, you're not going to get very many targets like that. There's going to be a lot of quiet periods, or at least there should be. And so you know when you find something out here, there's a greater propensity for it to be something of value when you're out here hunting. And you're not going to find as many targets, or at least I don't, at this park that I hunt and other parks as well. So when I'm out here in the middle of the field hunting and I get a target, I'm excited. If I get something that's in the gold range, I'm excited. If I get something that's in the high silver range, I'm excited. It's going to be a decent target, more than likely. Okay, again, there's always the chance that it's going to be a bunch of junk, but anyhow, these are the places to look when you're out here at a park. And again, you can follow this sideline all the way down, and you can tell there's some trash here from this past weekend. So you can look and you can see 8 to 12 feet, there's going to be trash. So this is where the people are sitting. I would never hunt over there by that canopy or those tables unless I wanted to find bottle caps. And you can find a crap ton of bottle caps over there. How do I know this? Because I've been over there and I found a crap ton of bottle caps. And you're going to find that again at most parks. Why? Because that's where the shade is. And people like to drink. And so because people like to drink, they like to drink underneath the shades of the trees. And unfortunately, hardly anybody ever cleans up their bottle caps anymore. And so you're going to find a ton of them there. And why people would come to watch their kids or their husbands or brothers play soccer and get drunk at the same time, I don't know. That's a story for another day, I guess. But anyhow, rant over. People pick up your trash. But again, let's just reiterate here. The point behind me telling you this is to hopefully give you an opportunity to find rings, and hopefully to give you an opportunity to find the good stuff. Okay? You're never going to find it unless you get out here and metal detect. Now, people will always tell me, hey, you're telling people how to find stuff. They're gonna take stuff that that you could have found. And my answer to that is, I doubt it. Because most people will come out here. I'm still going to come out here and I'm still going to detect, and I'm still going to dig pieces of trash and bottle caps and pull tabs and things like that. And most people will give up after the 10th or 15th one. For me, that's great, because they will have pulled 10 or 15 pull tabs out of the ground for me that I don't need to worry about anymore. And they'll just leave the good stuff for me. But anyhow, this is a big world. There's lots of opportunities out there. No need to be selfish. The goal is to help everybody enjoy this wonderful hobby and have a fun time while doing it. So anyhow, that's a quick little tutorial how to hunt a soccer field. And I will hopefully be bringing a few more of those out as we go on. Some tips on how to hunt the beach, basketball courts, and the whatnot. Notice how I didn't talk anything about softball, because you can tell over here all the bleachers are sitting on cement, and most folks, if they lose something there, you're going to hear it tinkle on down, and anybody and their brother can find that. But I just wanted to share, like I say, a few minutes about how to find rings out here at your local park, especially on a soccer field. So if you found this to be of interest to you or helpful in any way, please like and subscribe, and leave a comment if you've ever found a ring at a soccer field. And I think I just heard yeah, there we go. There's a quarter right there that I'm going to go ahead and dig. You can see it right there. And till next time, I hope all your hunts are great and all your pull tabs are gold. All right, so I just wanted to prove my point. I don't know if you can see that. There it is right there. But there's the ring. Here I am. I'm approximately, well, 8 to 12 feet behind the end line. I'm just away from what I would consider to be land that you don't want to hunt in, because you can see the bottle caps right there. So I'm away from there. And sure enough, there it is. You can see it right there. It's just a junk ring, but it's a ring. And that's the point I'm trying to make, is that finding rings is about putting yourself in the right position to find them. And it's not about just wandering aimlessly and digging 100 bottle caps, because that's what people say. You got to dig 100 pieces of trash before you find a gold ring. It's not about that. It's about putting yourself in the right position. This was an 18 on the Manticore. It was solid, 2 inches down, and there you go. Got another ring. Granted, it's not worth anything, but those of you that have those of you that find rings, you know what I'm talking about. A ring is a ring, and they're always fun to find. So anyhow, just wanted to, not to say, see, I told you so, but put yourself in position to find rings, and you'll find rings.